Hey guys, it's Jason at Hard Money Bankers with your Private Money Minute. Today I want to talk about the risks of buying occupied properties. Now I know sometimes you can get a property at a pretty good discount at an auction, online auction, a regular auction, or bank foreclosure, whatever the case is, just because there's a previous tenant in there or an owner occupant in there that just won't leave. So they'll sell to you at a discount so you can deal with all that, right? Now there's right and wrong ways to do that. At the right numbers, it does make sense, but you do got to follow some of these quick tips in order to make it so it doesn't turn into a gigantic liability, right? Okay, so if you have the opportunity to approach them or have a conversation with them, now technically I don't think you're supposed to be going in the property and knocking on the door and things like that. If there's a way that you can get around that, great, but if there's a way to approach them and just kind of see what their game plan is. The worst thing that could happen is they say, no, I'm never leaving. This is my property. You have to call the authorities and come and get me out and kick me out because I'm not going to do it myself. That's a huge red flag, right? Typically, that occurs a little bit more on emotional previous owners that got foreclosed on, and they're sentimental to the house. They just don't want to leave. Tenant occupants are usually a little bit easier. They just want to see some cash, right? A lot of investors will just throw some cash at somebody and they'll leave. But you do have to have a conversation with them first to see what you're up against. Because the biggest risk that you have, if they don't leave willingly, all of a sudden they're taking hammers to drywall, they're stealing appliances, they're ripping out copper, they're doing whatever they can to make your life miserable. And all of a sudden you have a nice livable property with little renovations that could have gigantic renovations that have to be taken into consideration now. So those are all things. So if you do have the opportunity to talk to somebody, that's great. Just figure out what their game plan is. If you have to throw them a little money, that's fine too. Do whatever you got to do. But just make sure you kind of know it going into it, because some states, the eviction process can take a long time. They don't like to evict if it's raining out, if it's cold out, so it also depends on the time of year. So you got to take all those things in consideration. But at the right price, the numbers work. But I do encourage you, if you can talk to them ahead of time just to figure out what their game plan is going into it, it'll save you a heck of a lot of headaches and time, just so you can get into that project and get moving on as soon as possible. Again, this is Jason with your Private Money Minute. Until next time.